Good afternoon. I'm on my second walk for the day, and my dog is not fixed, so he wants to mark every place, so he slows me down with that. Anyway, I wanted to come back because I always watch the video after I post it, and I feel like I didn't give enough information or enough context to what I posted earlier and how I ended up losing my children to the parental alienation. I know I said I had a court battle, but I didn't really mention how the court battle started. And so the court battle started is after I left the relationship. He kind of like acted as though he didn't care, so he just moved on really quickly with somebody else. And I never heard from him for a long time, so he didn't try to support the children. He didn't even call. He didn't see them, nothing. He just basically disappeared, which was, fine by me at that time. And but then, out of nowhere, he popped up again. And he started just popping up. And so he'd just show up at my house unannounced, or show up at the kids' school unannounced and pick them up, and I wouldn't know where they were. And he just started causing chaos in my life. And so what I did was I went and initiated the court action, so that we would have some sort of a structure, so that he'd have to come on a Friday and pick them up and drop them back off on Sunday, or however the court structured that. And just the thought of me asking for some kind of structure or some kind of order, whatever it was, that enraged him to the point that he's just started fighting me for my children. And so what would happen is we'd go to court, and the court just kept getting we'd go to court and he wouldn't have everything he needed, or his lawyer, whatever. And so it would get adjourned to the next, another date, like 3 or 4 months down the line. In this time, in the 3 and 4 months, he would be terrorizing me, calling the equivalent to the Child Protective Services in Canada on me all the time, making allegations about all kinds of different things that they would come and investigate, and it would be unfounded. He'd pick the kids up from school and not return them. He recruited my daughter. So my daughter definitely was sympathetic to her father's position, because she didn't want me to leave her dad. She loves her dad. I understand that. But, her dad was not a good partner for me. So it didn't matter what she wanted. It was what I needed to do. But because of that, she was very angry with me. So she would, if I went to the laundry room, which was downstairs, and we lived in an apartment building, if I went to the laundry room, she would call her dad and tell him that I left them by themselves, and that would result in a phone call to the Child Protective people. One time, he had the children for his weekend. I would use those opportunities as my freedom. I'm a single woman. I would do whatever I wanted to do. So this one particular weekend, I went to New York City to hang out with my family. And I ended up wanting to stay a little bit longer than just the weekend. So I said, listen, I'm going to be here a little bit longer. Of course, he was mad. He didn't want to look after his own children past the deadline of my time. So, but, I stayed the extra couple days I think it was. While I was there, my mom called me and she says, the police are looking for you. I'm like, what? She says, the police just called me. Detectives, they said that you've been reported missing. Yeah, so he reported me missing. The police went in my house, because he not only reported me missing, but he claimed that, my daughter told them that I beat her with some sticks and a bunch of other crazy stuff. And so they went in my house to investigate this alleged beating. And, at that time I had parquet flooring in the house. And so the heat had lifted the flooring up. And so there's like these little squares about this big that were loose on the ground. And she was trying to say that I was using those to beat her. But anyways, after they investigated everything, they realized that none of it could be true. The things that she was saying that I did, the scars or the marks that she was showing them were old marks that could never have been related to anything recent. And whatever it was, they just didn't believe her, which I'm glad, because it wasn't true. Anyhow, so every time he tried to take the kids from me using the systems, it didn't work. Like the child protective people and all of that. But eventually, and this went on for years, eventually, so what he started doing was picking the kids up from school and not returning them to me. I would try to call the police, and the police wouldn't get involved. And so the one particular time, the police told me, well, you just need to wait till you go back to court and have the judge give him the kids back. But she didn't this time. She just said basically that she couldn't sort out what was going on between the two of us. She was equating the back and forth to court and him. I don't know, she kind of made it seem like it was an equal battle between the both of us, but it was not. I just wanted her to make an order. Tell him that he can see his children on the days that he wants to see them. I wasn't going to keep him from them. And whatever it is. I mean, I didn't even care about the money part of it. But obviously when I took him to court, they did order him to pay the $200 a month, which he didn't pay a dime of it. And I didn't care about the money. I just wanted the structure part. But anyway, so it wasn't just the court systems that failed me. It was just systems in general. I feel like he abused the child protective system, calling them over and over again to harass me, basically, with these unfounded allegations. I mean, after the first few unfounded ones, I couldn't understand why they just can't continue to harass me. But they said that anytime they get a phone call, they have to show up. So it was just a constant. It was so bad that I ended up losing so much weight. I was like down to less than 100 pounds because I just couldn't function. And everything he was doing was designed to break me, and it did. So what would I do if I had to do it over again? I probably would never have taken him to court. I probably would have figured out a way to just disappear. Because I feel like when you're dealing with a narcissist, I think you have to just disappear. When you become somebody's narcissistic supply, they're not going to just let you go that easy. And a narcissist doesn't care about his children. So if he has to use those children as pawns and as a way to keep you in their grips, they will do that, which is what happened to me. And so yeah, cautionary tale. Have a great day.